Welcome everyone to WWE Smackdown at a reasonable time. You are joining me, Tom Collier, at 8 PM UK time instead of the usual 1 AM. We're about to launch into Smackdown. Be aware of spoilers. If it's not live where you are now, I will sync up with you for then, now, forever, for the point at which you should press play. I did not know we lost draws. Energy dropped slightly there. Sorry to hear we've lost draws. Damn it. Okay. Resyncing with the then, now, forever. I will literally say the words so you know when to start in America. It's then, now, forever. There you go. All synced up. You should know exactly where we are and you should be able to find me soon together. Welcome everyone to the chat. Moxie says, yo Tom. Omega says, Tom Collier. Ed says, what is this nonsense? You're far too f***ing early, which is true. And Megan says, this is lovely. I've just finished a cuppa, and so you should. On the YouTube side, there's been a whole lot of chat before we even got started. Joe, Eric, BDC, pardon me, Daz, Callie, Jack, all saying hi. Welcome Mick as well, saying, damn, I would have waited until 2 here in Germany right now. Out since my holiday with live stuff. Hope you're very well. My best source. Thank you kindly. Eric says, what channel is it on? Because I have TMZ. BT Sport? No doubt I did not get house show results. I don't usually look for them, if I'm honest. Jordan says, good evening, Tom and chat. Feels weird watching wrestling at this time in the evening, but not complaining. Nor am I. They're advertising the Bloodline exploding, with Roman and Solo and the Usos a stare down tonight. Of course, the main drawing point here, apart from being in the UK, is the 2 championship matches. They're currently showing Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. We actually just saw Sasha Banks in a submission hold, which I did not expect. This is likely to be the main event. We're going to see Logan Paul. Logan Paul on the Grayson Waller effect. Logically, that should be our midpoint draw segment. And they are really pushing the fact that this is in the UK. My expectation also is that we're going to open with a tag championship match. Let's find out. We may be starting with a women's championship match. It is a tag team championship match. So Pretty Deadly are opening the show with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. A great position for Pretty Deadly to find themselves in. Make no mistake. Michael says, spoiler warning still at the same time? If so, I'll be back for that. Yes, it is, Michael. I'll try and avoid actual spoilers for SmackDown in that. It is literally starting straight after. For anyone who is watching here and wants to also watch spoiler warning, I'll be sending a raid to myself. Basically taking you from this particular video to the secondary spoiler warning video. So stick around at the end of the show and I'll move you all over. And then a couple of seconds probably later I will go live there with spoiler warning. Megan says there's light outside and it's not sunrise. This is very odd. Yes, it is. See, it's full sun. It is full sun out my window and I'm still using the actual spotlight because you have to. Ed says, while all you Brits enjoy this future show, I will go back to doing work. Thank you very much for dropping in, Ed. By all means, mute and just stick around, but also, by all means, drop in later and watch it with Tom Collier regardless. Yep, Jack, I'm sure in the US it's on a different time. In the UK, it's also on a different time now. Felix says, SmackDown this time. Really? Yep, it's live right now. Can see it. We're about to watch an undisputed tag team championship match. Again, beware of spoilers. Tom says, what's up, chat? And Tom has some events later, so I'm glad it's on now. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, or we have 4 words for you. Who's better than Canyon? Everyone. Airwolf says, hi, Tom. Hello, Airwolf. Eric says, what AEW superstar outside of MJF would you want in WWE? I hear that John Moxley is quite good. Okay. The WWE know what a UK crowd is like. They will leave plenty of breaks for singing along. Let's just say Seth Rollins is going to get serenaded tomorrow. I like the staging. I like what they've done there. Very little reception for Pretty Deadly, even though we will know who they are. If you've not seen First Dates, you should check out Pretty Deadly on first dates. Yes, it does. I'm aware that Wrestling Days was at a wrestling shop today, live streaming. He was doing that yesterday as well. Very good business model. I envy him that success. Joe says, hi Tom, how you doing? Today I was talking to a lot of WWE fans. Cool. Hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully the world's full of them. We are currently on 27 viewers and 9 likes. If you're able to, please remember to hit that thumbs up button. It does guarantee further growth of this show. There are always advantages to doing different shows at different times. You basically guaranteed a different potential audience. Is that a real disco ball or is that the 3D effect? That's a real disco ball. They have an actual disco ball for Pretty Deadly. I know I should be saying other stuff, but I'm just very distracted. That actually makes sense. Money in the Bank, of course, is tomorrow. The ladder matches need something to hang from. Might as well hang on disco ball there for now. Razar, welcome. Says, hello Tom. Smackdown doesn't start for me till later, but I thought I'd still stop by and watch. I don't mind spoilers. Fair enough, Razar. If you'd like to, you can always stop watching now and return to watching this later. And then you'll still be able to get the watch-along experience, but there'll be a bit less, after all, communication. If you want to watch it now, you're of course very welcome to. Joe, I have no comment on John Cena at this time. Callie says, looks like a real one. First thing first, he's a realist. Pretty Deadly have some new gear in play. The lights go down. The crowd still want to serenade Sami Zayn, but they also want to sit down so the people behind them can see. The serenade continues. Hello, Venom. So this is a huge opportunity for Pretty Deadly. Let's not make any bones about that. They are very new to the roster, very new to the main roster in particular. They are getting a tag team championship shot for both the Raw and SmackDown tag team championships. They're not going to win, we know this. But they're competing against people the caliber and the recognition of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a match with a crowd that is guaranteed to bring the heat. And they are actively bringing the heat. My hope is that we'll definitely see Bayley today, because we have a UK crowd. It would be massively unfair if we don't see Bayley. It's one of the favoured sons and favoured songs of WWE UK audiences. They love this stuff. Little bit of classical cheat in there. Just good old-fashioned shithousery. Always love it. No Venom. I can't. Aaron says, any update on Bray and Howdy? Nothing beyond what I've already reported. If you want updates on Bray Wyatt, this is the place. I've already given substantial details on what's happening there. Yes, you're absolutely right, Dom. The sleeves are indeed the tag team championships, which might be the closest that they get. Felix says SmackDown is not live here. That's correct, it's only live here. Callie says they're good, but I personally think they're getting pushed too soon. I don't think this particular push is going to last too long. I think the mini faction of Austin Theory will be a big help to them, but ultimately their actual chance of winning this is very, very low. So it's a very brief push that by SummerSlam time they will have been largely forgotten about. Venom says, when are the tag belts being separated? As soon as they want them to. Venom says that they retired the NXT women's tag belts. No. They are part of the women's tag belts of the WWE. Eric says, Tom, I know this absolutely won't happen, but imagine after Seth beats Finn and Ospreay comes out, we get Ospreay versus Seth at All In, which will not happen under any circumstances. There is absolutely no benefit to the WWE in ever working with AEW, New Japan, or any other promotion. Absolutely no benefit whatsoever. Anytime anyone in the WWE is asked about it, they laugh, because it is truly to them a ridiculous concept. They would be boosting they would be signal boosting the competition, and they would gain absolutely nothing from it themselves. Razar says, I saw on their website they added the Bayley versus Shotzi match that was cancelled last week for tonight. Always good to see at least more than one women's match. I can't imagine it'll last very long. The idea was to push people like Shotzi. That doesn't seem to be where we're headed, unfortunately. Felix, what I will say is that UK audience are definitely a lot more engaged. Marcel, please do not ask for information on illegal streams. I do not support illegal streaming. Any conversation about illegal streaming will be removed, and there is a high chance that anyone advertising illegal streaming or in any way requesting illegal streaming will be removed from the chat. I cannot be any clearer on this. This channel does not support illegal activity, and if it did, this channel would be shut down. So please do not risk my channel and my potential livelihood by talking about this. Venom says, I noticed on Raw, Ronda and Shayna didn't have the NXT titles with them. Yes, because they are part of the WWE Tag Team titles, which they already have. Owen says, correction, the NXT Women's Tag Team titles have been retired per WWE's website. The WWE title and SmackDown Tag Team titles are still active. Well, fair enough if they've been folded in. This is much like the old Intercontinental Championship, which I believe was folded into, I'll say World Heavyweight Championship. Could have been the Hardcore, who can even tell. But I believe it was folded in and then was brought back. It's the WWE. They literally make it up as they go along. No worries, Marcel. Just hope you understand. Eric says, what a shame, I really want to see Seth versus Ospreay. Well, you may need to pay Ospreay to come and do at least a brief match in WWE, which is not impossible. I definitely think it would be fun if he would consider it. He's a very talented wrestler, and a feud with Seth would be very fun as well. Kevin Owens with the cannonball in the corner. Owens and Sami Zayn doing very well at the moment. Kevin Owens, for some reason, holding his ankle. The cameraman is too quick to focus on it. Just too quick to focus on it. Which tells me it's intentional. A KO chant from the crowd. A swanton which did not clear was much like the old-fashioned Jeff Hardy swanton. Elton Prince kind of gave the game away there with his eyes. For anyone who's not aware, if there's a pinfall happening, watch the wrestler's eyes, it'll tell you everything that's about to happen. If their eyes are closed, chances are they're going down. Eric? You're asking interesting questions, but unfortunately it's not questions I can answer right now. Tag team championships are always 2 championship belts. They're playing up to the idea of the Kevin Owens injury. I'd imagine this is just to make you think, oh, the actual championship change might happen here. It won't, but they've got to make you think it somehow, haven't they? Prince of a couple of chop blocks. Literally, as I said that, Michael Cole said the exact same. That is a back body drop code breaker? What do you call that? What do you call that? Like, that's strength right there. Venom says, why deliver a hype package for Johnny when they have no intention of using him? Because they did intend to use him, and then that intention was changed. I've been over this, mate. Eric, you may need to wait and see what happens with the tag titles, or check out Spoiler Warning, where I've already said exactly what's going to happen. You were there, mate. You were there. Michael Cole putting a hat on that one. That was indeed Pretty Deadly's best opportunity at the win here. Kevin Owens starting the fight back now. A German suplex, which is interesting because his ankle was apparently just absolutely fine. Callie says they've got a face you just want to slap. The feeling that I get with Pretty Deadly is very similar to the Iconics. They were great fun to hate. Great fun to hate. I loved hating them. Wiggly's here saying yo 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 yo, or should I say yo 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 yo, I got to meet EO. Congratulations, man, I'm glad for you. Seen the picture. Looked good. Tom says that was an interesting way to do a code breaker. Absolutely. You need new and interesting varieties of moves in order to make this work. I wouldn't be grabbing him, Sammy. Got hold of the apron for some reason. Rake to the eyes, always lovely. I wish someone in the crowd could have warned Sammy about that. He's got the wrong man. Will the roll-up work? No. Like, we knew it wouldn't. But it's nice to believe. Good match so far. Pretty Deadly are definitely showing up. They need to be able to sustain this, but just be aware that once Sami Zayn gets his head of steam, I'm not particularly worried about what happens next. Owens hits a stunner. Not a great sell. And that's a hell of a kick. Job's a good one. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens pick up the win in the opening match of SmackDown in London. Definitely going to pop the crowd there. Genuinely a good match. I've said for ages, if you can't have a great match in 15 minutes, you can't have a great match. And that was solid. Dylan says, hi Tom, looking forward to Money in the Bank tomorrow. Good to hear, mate. And Adam says, hey Tom, how you doing? Doing well, thanks mate. How do we rate that match then? I'm giving it a 7. 7 out of 10, good old fashioned 7. I think it's well worth it. Certainly didn't hit substantial pay-per-view heights. Pretty Deadly had a few good moments. We didn't actually see too much offense from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, at least not after that first couple of minutes. But I still think a very good match and very fun. A very, very solid and entertaining performance from Pretty Deadly. Christian says, hola Tom, how are you doing? Doing very well, thank you mate. Welcome to the show. Don gives it a 6, Venom gives it a 5, Daz gives it a 7.5. And Wiggly's saying, I asked my local bar to show SmackDown, and they are. Well, why not? If they've got BT Sport, so they should. Before this went live, I was watching a recap of playoff finals featuring Chesterfield and Notts County. It's where the world is now. Solo Sikoa and Ridge Holland showing backstage. I know we're heading into the Usos versus Solo Sikoa and Roman. This would be a great time for Sheamus to get himself involved. Maybe Sheamus versus Roman will be the championship match at SummerSlam. And Jay and Jimmy will both end up with an injury. Megan says, I can agree with the 7. Good opening match for the show. Fair enough, Wiggly. It was a good showing from Solo. Really showed the danger that comes with his territory. Earlier tonight, okay, we have Adam Pearce. What's he going to do? The Brawling Brutes all there, asking where Solo is. They want a bit of revenge. Is a big pop for the Brawling Brutes. They've had a decent push in the time they've been here. Are you allowed to say bollocks? He's not worthy of putting on a banger. Okay, so this definitely does suggest we're heading towards Sheamus versus Austin Theory. Okay. We are basically just driving them away. Now, Butch is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. This is a diversion for him. Austin Theory versus Ridge Holland is up next. Once again, a UK talent against American talent. Or should I say non-UK talent, because Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I should say, are not American. Austin Theory, another one who's pretty hateable. This is kind of a classic booking strategy. So typically you have much bigger names against much smaller names if you go into a house show. So for example, Roman Reigns versus Shinsuke Nakamura would be something that happens quite a lot. You don't believe for a second that Shinsuke Nakamura is actually going to win, and he's not going to. But it's his job to make you believe he's going to win, and that's like the art of wrestling. Rich Holland, it's his job to make you think he's going to win right now, even though he's not at the level of Austin Theory at this point. That said, going back to what I was saying earlier, the diversionary tactic here is quite clever. Last week we were pushing towards Solo Sikoa. Now we have just walked straight away from him. Last week, of course, was apparently heavily interfered with by Vince McMahon. Callie also agrees with the 7. Joe gives it a 6.5. Dad says, do you think Ray is there at the arena, Tom? Yeah. Yeah, he is. Callie says, weird hearing somebody say bollocks on TV. I know, right? I should bring in a complaint. Let Ofcom know. I'm just uncomfortable. Just uncomfortable. This show is already full to the brim with Money in the Bank commercials. Happy to see Trish Stratus in another pay-per-view though. I didn't think we'd get much out of her when she returned. Instead, she's at least been compelling. Zoe Stark's been less of a big deal and a spoiler than I expected. Christian, I am a gamer. I have not played Fight Forever, and I don't really intend to. Wrestling games I've tried off and on. I was big on the WrestleMania 2000 No Mercy days. I enjoyed those. And I hear it's more like that, so maybe that'll get my attention. There is a commercial for AEW in the middle of WWE programming. It's been a while. It's been a while. They are advertising All In. Ooh. I've got tickets for that. Should be fun. That's war. That is war. So yeah, I don't necessarily think Fight Forever is for me, much the same way that I don't necessarily think AEW is always for me. There is a bit of AEW that's for me, much like I love a G1, but I don't necessarily love the Best of the Super Juniors in New Japan. The wrestling's great, but the storytelling, not quite the soap opera I'm used to. I mean, today I watched like 5 episodes of Below Deck during work. Like, it's not good TV. It's not. One might say it's terrible TV, but I watched it. Jordan says, could be wrong here, but feels like Triple H booking so far. It is. To my knowledge, Vince McMahon has not travelled to the UK. Dom says, that's new to me. A championship contender match with a champ in it. Heard of open challenge or even a number 1 contender match. You must not have been watching for very long, Dom, because that is something that happens a lot. Particularly under Vince McMahon, where you'd have to beat the champ to get a shot at the champ. Never made any sense to me. Hogan says UK advertisements are interesting, bit different. And Callie saying that's a bit cheeky. Christian says, I'm not sure if you're going to talk about this now or in your vid later, but is there any news on McIntyre's return? Nothing to talk about at this point in time. I will reiterate what I've already said, a spoiler warning later. Gordy says, this is spoiler warning to the extreme, especially here in the States. Very true. Be aware of potential spoilers for SmackDown. If it is not live where you are, you can either choose to watch this now and watch SmackDown later, or of course, you can watch SmackDown later and watch this at the same time. And Gordy says, I don't mind it because I enjoy your work and I'm still stopping by for the support. Thank you, Gordy. I appreciate that. The Brawling Brutes combined theme, I think, shook people up a bit there. Again, solid pop. I think slightly weaker on the basis of already having a pop for them. But they're wearing their Fight Night football shirts, not to be confused with the word jersey. Not a jersey. It's not a jersey. It's not a jersey. Reach the fridge? Is that really what they're going for? Is that a thing? Is that a name he already has? Answer on a postcard, guys. The rest of Fight Night, you're heading backstage again, which is fair, I guess. But with Austin Theory a heel, I wouldn't necessarily expect to go the rest of the night without seeing Pretty Deadly again. Joe thinks now is a good time for Drew McIntyre to come back. Joe, I would imagine all times are something that you think are good times. Megan says, I think I've heard Sheamus use the nickname a couple of times before. Thank you for your postcard there, Megan. Mentioning the sin bin. They're really, really leaning into this UK crowd. I suspect they may actually be re-recording quite a lot of the commentary for the US audience later. As we know, Rich Holland has very limited opportunity to win here. But it is a good spot for him to be in. Yes, Callie. It is an ex... he is an ex-rugby player. Yeah, rugby. I should have said rugby and not football. I apologise. Still not a jersey, and I was focused on that. But you're right. It's a rugby top, not a football top. I sometimes forget that there are other sports in the world. Austin Theory going for a Johnny Gargano spear. Rich Holland briefly going for a Randy Orton DDT. Does a Cesaro spin, but the other way around. And then, ooh. Lovely suplex. I don't know why he'd fall backwards like that. But a lovely suplex. This is a big opportunity for Rich Holland. A big opportunity. And I like that he's neatened up a little bit in advance of it. To show what he can do. Austin Theory, of course, will be his usual self. He's not being pushed particularly strongly, Austin Theory. As US champion, he had the big moment against John Cena, and since then, kind of nothing. He needs a decent opponent for SummerSlam. Sheamus seems ideal for it. But I do like that a lot of focus is being put on the Rhea Ripley championship run. Very little focus is being put on Austin Theory right now. Hogan says you don't see too many people rock the single knee pad look. As an amateur wrestler who rocked a single knee pad, I dig it. Austin Theory is wearing two. Sorry, I got them confused because of the colours. Rich Holland. When he takes a knee for his rugby, he only takes the right knee. So a bit of a test of strength there. Lovely suplex. We're seeing suplexes he hasn't used in a while. And there's a reason for that. That one in particular, he hasn't used for a while. Good pop again from the crowd. He knows how to work them, he knows how to engage with them. That's half the battle if you're wrestling, engaging with the crowd. Hogan says, it is convenient that WWE scheduled SmackDown to end right as spoiler warning starts. Oh, I know. I'm very appreciative of it. Very appreciative of the WWE doing me favours. Theory with the roll through drop kick. A trademark of his. Very stylish. Didn't know it was a finisher. Holland is holding his neck? That's not a finisher. He has a finisher. That's not... Oh, he went for the throw. Okay. Went for the throw from the outside in full view of the referee. Good old-fashioned cheat. He's a proper Jeff Jarrett style heel, isn't he? Anyone remember Jeff Jarrett's Intercontinental Championship run? That's what Austin Theory reminds me of. Oh, Theory continues a beat down. That's going to wind up Sheamus. Kelly says he makes Austin look small. Not for long he doesn't. And Dom says, wasn't that the suplex that accidentally hurt Big E? Yes, it was. Theory escapes the bro kick. Where's Butch? Sheamus has come out to help, but where's Butch? Ideally, Butch right behind Austin Theory would be perfect right now. Hogan says one of the benefits of being tied to two guys have been doing this for a while. Absolutely correct. Callie says playing on the injury that Solo gave him. Very true. Very clever. I didn't spot that on initial viewing. Having seen it a second time, makes perfect sense. Our mid-first hour draw segment is a recap of Bloodline. Jaden says, hey Tom, forgot SmackDown started in the UK time. What has happened in the show? The Tag Team Championship match has already happened. Pardon me. As well as Rich Holland versus Austin Theory. Wiggly says, I saw about the Droz news. D'Lo Brown's in London at the moment doing promos. I imagine he too will be feeling very sad. People criticise wrestling as fake, etc. But the risks are real and accidents can happen. RIP Droz. Best wishes to his family, friends and fans. Thank you for that, Wiggly. Hogan says, open challenge, let Sheamus win the title right now. I don't see that one happening for a while. Logically, that'll be the SummerSlam match, and that makes sense to me. So, I sort of zip through Raw while I'm working on Tuesdays. I keep forgetting that Cody Rhodes exists. Is that weird? I think it's weird. But also it's not. Eric says, I'm here for the Asuka Doom and Gloom report. Will there be a Doom and Gloom report? I'm feeling pretty good about her chances, to be honest. Kieran says, the fall of Cody Rhodes is insane. I did see a report earlier stating that, Brock Lesnar's in the UK to get involved with Cody Rhodes. I wonder who that report came from. So we're only a quarter of the way through SmackDown so far. I've had 2 matches, brief but fairly memorable. I would give that match a 5.5 personally. I don't want to give it too much credit because ultimately it didn't last very long and it was just a lot of powerhouse stuff. But what I will say is it was a very good look for Ridge Holland and a good old chicken shit heel from Austin Theory. So 5.5. It was just above average, did exactly what it said in the tin, and then got the hell out of Dodge. For me, that's usually enough. So if you want to watch Money in the Bank and you don't have the network in the UK, you can sign up for the BT Sport box office and pay £15 for it. Or you can pay £10 and get the network every month. I mean, for a one-off, I guess I get it. Megan gives the match a solid 5. Ridge looked good. Theory looked like a slimy git. Good, but not great. Fair all round. Wiggly says, Tom, as a streamer, I need your view on this. I'm a mod on a fan page over on Facebook. Take a hardline stance on people posting streams to illegal links. Got called many pleasantries by someone for deleting their posts of links and they're now banned. Mine reasonable as they described. No, and you know that. You know full well that that's not the case. Megan says, I'll stick to the network, Tar. Fair enough. I rarely use the network now, though it does still have quite a lot of interesting specials and a lot of historical stuff. But the pay-per-view is usually enough reason for it. Callie didn't love the match, says, to be honest, it was a bit crap. Daz gives it a 5. Kieran says, PLE prices are insane. I think they're about $30 in America, which seems massive. Karrion Kross has got a backstage promo where he says TikTok. The Karrion Kross cycle is pretty boring at this point because every single week he seems to say TikTok. Sean says, an early spoiler warning? Nope, spoiler warning is still at the exact same time. Welcome, Sean. I mean, if you look at the title, we are watching SmackDown right now. SmackDown is live. Megan said, I tend to just watch the pay-per-views and some of the documentaries. It's handy for trivia research, though, which is pretty much exactly how I use it, yeah. As I mentioned, a recap of the Bloodline story will be taking place for the middle of the first hour draw segment. The main reason for this is that historically, they do not give you 2 hours of wrestling in the arena. Now, it used to be they would record about an hour and a half, and then they would add in post commercial breaks and hype packages like this. Historically, they've used Bray Wyatt backstage quite a bit, even though watching live, you don't know. So there are a few spoilers and stuff. This time round, seems like they're getting the 2 hours and just watching some hype packages. Sean says, did you see the Grayson Waller video? Said in the video he has a broken, complete break of his fibula. Didn't see the video, but heard the news. And Wiggly says, someone from said group suggested Shane Helms told him Money in the Bank next year will be in the new Co-op Arena next to the Etihad. It won't be. It's funny how someone tells you exactly what you want to hear with no sourcing. Be wary of people who tell you what you want to hear. Kieran says, I know AEW pay-per-views are $50. Are they regularly $50? I know that it's quite a big amount, but you do get a lot of wrestling matches in them. So, I don't know on that one. When people are annoyed because there's too much wrestling, might just be worth that 50. For those who have not done so yet, we currently have 26 people watching the stream and only the 17 likes. If you can, please do remember to click that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to chat along and you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. It's a huge help to the growth of the channel and continues the momentum that we've been working with for so long and building so well. So please consider hitting subscribe as well if you've not yet done so. We're currently just 3 away from 2,480 as we head towards that 2,500 mark. That is going to be pretty big for everyone involved. And everyone involved, by the way, is me. It's going to be pretty big for me. I'm going to really enjoy it. 3 more, guys. 3 more. Can you dig it? Megan says, no real shock, but Dominic got some quite loud boos according to folk at the Newcastle house show. I am stunned. They are relying on those big boos for Dominic to keep Cody Rhodes a big deal, because I don't think Cody's going to be too well received. I think he's still going to get a pop, but he has lost momentum since Mania. Since moving away from Roman as well, it's got even worse. I know what you said, Wiggly. I understand what you said. We are still very much in recap. This is not the shock collapse like the Shield way back when. The destruction of the Bloodline is taking its time. Leon says, I honestly hope Cody beats Dom beats Cody at Money in the Bank. He will. Sean said, is Brock in London? I've seen reports of that. Spider Boss says, hello Tom, do you see Brock getting involved with Cody's match? Yes. Peter says, hey sir, Tom, sorry I'm a bit tardy, but I have a note. Hope you are well. I'm very well, thank you. Been enjoying your TikTok. Welcome to the show. I do like the juxtaposition here. They hype up the whole, what kind of brother does this? What kind of brother does that? Solo does this. Literally, right there. The return of Roman's going to be an interesting one. Because surely there's not too much more he has to say. There's no conversation worth having. Surely it's just action now. He should be action man. This is really starting to go on now. Sean says, how are you today, Tom? New Star Wars movie was announced for 2026. I'm okay, but that is not related to the news of a new Star Wars movie. My favourite Star Wars movie is still Rogue One. I think it's the best Star Wars movie there's ever been. Ori says, okay, Tom, catch me up. What have I missed? Tell me everything. I was just talking about people whose TikTok content I enjoyed, and then up pops Ori. How the devil are you? At the moment, not much to catch you up on. YouTube continues to do well. Went to Paris. In a loving and very fulfilling relationship. And having a whale of a time. Also, really enjoying Diablo 4. Spiderboss says, do you see Mercedes money at All In? Possibly. Depends if she can travel by then. Sean said, is Rogue One better than Solo? Haven't seen Solo. Enjoyed Rogue One. Eric says, good news, bad news about Fight Forever. Good news, it finally came. Bad news, a lot of the roster isn't in the game. Noticeable exceptions from the game, Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, Ricky Starks, and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, they weren't sure if he was going to make it, to be fair. Joe says, I have Virgin Media, so I'll pay for that at 6 o'clock tomorrow night and just relax. But Tom, I don't want to log in to win the Money in the Bank. I also don't want to log in to win Money in the Bank. That'd be a bad thing for everyone involved. Sean says, Dom is not beating Cody. Let's see. Let's see. A lot of people disagree with you. Joe says, Tom, do you think Roman and Solo win tomorrow night? Yes. It is Damage Control's time. Io Sky and Bayley on the way down to the ring. This, of course, will be the Bayley versus Shotzi match. I imagine it'll be a 10-minute before we get to Logan Paul and Grayson Waller in the middle of the hour, well, middle of the show, I should say, draw segment. Bayley is going to be sung at aggressively. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep going. Megan says, random thought, if any member of the royal family was to sit ringside for Money in the Bank, who would be the best fit? I would bet Princess Anne. Okay, so a few things immediately on this. Oh God, Catherine. Kate, Firstly, did pop up at Eurovision. She recorded a part of the intro video. Nobody knows why. But if there was going to be one member of the royal family, I think you've missed a very obvious choice. Prince Harry. He would start throwing punches, and we all know it, and it'd be great. I know that he's given up all the royal trappings, but have him just be there, much like Wayne Rooney was way back when. Get him to slap Sheamus. Get him to slap Wade Barrett. Get him to slap Austin Theory. Get him to jump in the ring and start beating the ever-living crap out of Logan Paul. Everybody would love it, and you know it. Or he says, busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest with work and playing a lot of Diablo 4. Same. So I've gone Necro. And I'm absolutely loving it. I'm just at the point now where I'm getting a lot of Nightmare Dungeons, so I'm just going through them. And you get so many glyphs that you can just chain them. It's great fun. Megan says, beware of treasure goblins. Do you play, Megan? Steve says, is it live on BT Sport? Yes, it is. Smackdown is currently live as we speak on BT Sport. Kieran says, I can't wait for Diablo 4 Season 1 to start. I'm itching to play more. Maybe when Season 1 comes around, if there's enough of us, we can get a party going and do some gaming. Reese says, is Smackdown live right now? Yes, it is, in the UK. If you're not in the UK, beware of spoilers. Sean says, the game is also glitchy and crashes. I've experienced 2 crashes in about 30 hours of gameplay. I'm alright. Spider-Boss says, what do you think about Jungle Boy's heel turn on Dynamite? I don't watch regularly enough to know. And says, Bayley in UK in the Hey Bayley chant, you love to see it. Peter says, I think I'm going to miss an hour of the pay-per-view tomorrow. Gutted. Glad you like the TikTok. A lot of trolls, but they all count. They do. So my most successful period on TikTok so far happened when I was getting a lot of trolls. I miss them. Callie says, what's happened to Dakota? Injury. Oof, bloody hell, Callie. I mean, you're right, but still. Megan says, Princess Anne decked her on Kidnapper. She knows her way around a scrap. Tag team match. Get him against Dom and Rhea. Oh. Oh no, that's it. Princess Anne and Prince Harry versus Dominic and Rhea. Spider-Boss, they literally had a USA title. Well, they didn't have a championship match, but the USA champion wrestled Rich Holland earlier tonight. Alright, so he'll be his Necro and I'm a Druid. See, if you wanted to stay Necro, I would then have to go Rogue, but I want to go Rogue. I just don't want to go Rogue solo. If I'm playing solo, Necro all the way. Mega says, I don't play Diablo, but I've seen a lot about the goblins the past day or so. Omega says, swap from Necro to Rogue and have been loving it. I don't think I'll swap, but historically on Diablo, I am a Rogue, mostly because I don't want to get close. There is no situation in which I want to get close to the enemies. That's not how I play. My biggest skill in games is in not dying, and it started with the Rogue on Diablo 1. Hit and run, mate, hit and run. Spider-Boss says, Smackdown will start at 8 PM East in South America. It's already started here, it's been live for about 45 minutes. Suicide dive from Shotzi onto EO. Getting big offense out early very much tells me this ain't gonna last. I thought so, Ori. We've already had conversations about this after all. Would be an even easier process now because I just get your tag. We are showing Zelina Vega backstage during several pinning combinations. Awkward for everyone involved. Megan says, imagine if we got a Hey EO switch up for the song. I'd love that. I'd love that. Steve says, I'll log off to avoid spoilers. Fair enough, mate. Completely understand. The fans still screaming for Bayley, and she keeps smiling. That's the thing. She just keeps smiling whenever we do it, so we're not going to stop. We can see you. We can see you like it. We are not going to let it drop. And we don't care if you won't. We'll keep asking. You're smiling now. You've just been DDT'd and you're still smiling. Fair dues, Peter. It's the way now. Spider-Boss says, who do you see beating Ronda and Shayna for the women's tag team titles? Probably way down the line. Like way down the line. So for like Io Sky and Asuka. Wiggly says, I have to be honest, Io genuinely was very nice. Spoke in Japanese as my aunt is Japanese. Cool. Kieran says, I'm glad they cancelled this match last week. The UK crowd loves Bayley. And Omega says, if anyone wants to play Diablo 4, let me know. For those that don't know, there is a gaming section on my Discord, which you are, of course, welcome to join. Ori, are you on the Discord? Because if so, jump into the gaming section, get chatting about it. Megan, I know you are. I've got you in my mod chat, even though I know you don't go in there. Like, you're in the mod chat area. So by all means, if this is of interest to you and you'd like to get it going, let's do it. We could have a situation whereby we do Discord group chat, so we all share audio, and we have a big party, a big Diablo party. It'd be great. A lot of us playing on Twitch. Be fun. Io Sky stops Bayley from being pinned. That should be the end of Shotzi's offense. Spider-Bell says, what's the best football game you've ever played on PlayStation? The most recent FIFA? It's whatever the most recent FIFA is. I think the last one I actually played was 21. Bayley wins in a style very typical of Austin Theory earlier. Callie says, I can't believe they're cheering for Bayley. The UK crowd loves Bayley. That's it. The UK crowd for a long time believed that Bayley was being overlooked. The UK crowd was not wrong. Dom says, international crowds and ECW in the 2013 NXT crowds are awesome. Callie says, Bayley's breaking character. Yes, she is. Sean says, do you believe the report by BWE or Boozer that Triple H doesn't want Logan Paul winning Money in the Bank? Well, Triple H already planned for someone else to win Money in the Bank, so kinda, yeah. Kinda. Spider-Boss says, do you think Dominic Mysterio needs to improve his heel character? No. Or he says, didn't know you had a Discord, gonna fix that. Megan says, I meant to ask about the Discord. I could do some tech help with my streams. That would be the perfect place for it. If you're looking to use Discord for like joint audio, Discord was literally made for that. We'd love if you can drop in. Now, I don't know if the Discord link from Nightbot still... Thank you, Ori. Has expired. Let me just pop into the Discord and get a new link. It won't be a second. And it's worth it. I want to make sure everybody's on. Everyone's live. And honestly, we're getting a very good community over there right now. The promotion section, for example, is being used a lot. And a lot of people, particularly the streamers themselves, are really jumping into each other's streams a lot. We're really creating community over there. I'm very happy with what's happening. So let's share that one here. And I'll share this one here. Jones says, I've never seen someone look so happy after getting DDT'd. Kieran says, are you playing on PC? I am not. I'm playing on PS4 and soon to be playing on PS5. Airwolf says, well, Bayley wins. Wiggly says, how could they not have Bayley in the Money in the Bank match with a chance and then an opportunity for Io to screw her over, or for her to screw over Io? Spider-Boss says, it's funny all these Twitter accounts come up with wrestling news without any source and some fans believe it. Yep. Them's fans. Megan says, it's visual help. Seem to be stuck at 384p quality and I don't know how, if I can improve it. Logically then, you've got a bit lock on your streaming software. What streaming software do you use? Hogan says Bayley now improves to 442 in 2023. That is actually her record this year. That hurts. Especially for a UK man myself. We really want Bayley to be our girl. Callie says, do you think LA Knight will turn face? Everyone seems to love him. They seem to be keeping him as heel at the moment. Yeah, I use Streamlabs myself. There are bit locks and bitrate locks. I'm streaming now, so I can't look into it myself. But at some point, what I'll do is I'll just get some pictures and feedback and send them on to you. I don't think it'll be Twitch, though Twitch does hamstring accounts pretty severely. I do think we can at least get you to 480 based on the bitrate and the level of technology there. It's amazing, for example, how much my stream improved when I moved from hardware accelerated to software accelerated, because I don't have a graphics card. Oh, my fact check. That's a WWE 2K thing, isn't it? So Megan, if you send me a DM to remind me, or maybe someone like Ori can help out, anyone else who may use Streamlabs, there are definitely people in the Discord, Lauren, Mark, who could be very beneficial to talk to. I'm pretty sure you'll remember Lauren. Spider-Boss says, it always surprises me that Bayley prefers to take losses with women down the card instead of win titles. Don't surprise me. She's done everything she wanted to do. She's won everything she wanted to win. Now, she wants to help people develop, and she's doing a very good job. The beatdown continues backstage. I think they were trying to put Shotzi through a table. It didn't work. So now they're just sort of making it up as they go along. Oh, they're cutting the hair. They are cutting her hair. Quite a bit as well. Right, so logically this suggests hair versus hair. Maybe SummerSlam? Bayley versus Shotzi? Maybe Shotzi gets a tag team partner. Hello, noob. Doing well, thank you. Megan says, thank you. To be honest, I didn't even notice until someone pointed it out a few weeks ago. I wouldn't have noticed myself either. But I get it. Absolutely, I get it. No, Peter, this is genuinely Lucozade. I don't want too much in the way of caffeine. Because ultimately, my body's trained to go to bed at like 4 in the morning on Friday nights. Not so anymore. Dylan says, Tom, who do you want to win between the Usos and Roman Reigns and Solo? Roman and Solo. No question. Roman and Solo. Megan says, loving the short ad breaks on this too. Thank you very much. Nope. I was saying thank you to the next comment. I'm also loving the short ad breaks. I very much don't even notice them. Like, I haven't noticed ad breaks. Very close to the end of the first hour now. I would hope at this point I'm going to stop getting asked questions about why Grayson Waller isn't wrestling yet. Spider-Boss says, nice short on TikTok about the Drew McIntyre news. Thank you very much, Spider-Boss, for that one. The shorts continue to do pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with them. Eric says, what happened to this match being for Bayley's Money in the Bank spot? It was. That is something that happened. The audience is already strongly booing for Logan Paul. I promise you it's only going to get worse. They're not going to want to let him speak. Tom says, I'm assuming Shotzi is getting a new look. Probably, that would make sense. Spider-Boss says, one of the best things about WWE pay-per-views is no commercial breaks. You're absolutely right. And Jaden says, EO is the favourite, but in previous years it's never been the one that is the favourite. That's not true at all. Historically, for Money in the Bank for Royal Rumble, the favourite is usually the winner. I mean, the favourite for the Royal Rumble has been the winner for years. Years and years now. And Becky Lynch has been the favourite for a while. We'll see how it goes. Megan says, I tried Prime this week. Meh at best. One of the flavours around me are multivitamin gummies I took as a kid. My youngest promises me it's good. Every time I try it, it ain't. I like that it's not technically been branded as a drink. It's a hydration aid. A hydration aid. Yes, Spider-Boss, that is correct. Grayson Waller is explaining what Money in the Bank is. It's lovely. Logan Paul's last 2 matches have been against the champion of SmackDown and the champion of Raw. Man's got story. He's definitely considered top tier. Championship gold around your belt. Nearly. Megan said, persuaded my mum to try some too. She was not impressed. So what I'm waiting for now that Logan Paul's been introduced the way that he has, and is doing such a good job, is for the arrival of Smosh to the WWE. Ian and Anthony got back together recently. I'd love to see them in a tag team match against Pretty Deadly. It would be terrible in the best way. Megan says, this weekend I plan to inflict it on my brothers. Ergo Prime. So we're in the draw segment. Logan Paul is there. LA Knight, and a big pop for LA Knight, is on the way down to the ring. He's a fan favourite. He is not currently the favourite to win Money in the Bank. Just want to be clear on that one. This is going to be a big, big cheer. Huge pop, huge reaction for LA Knight so far. Logan Paul versus LA Knight is a match I didn't know I needed until now. Give me that at SummerSlam. Megan says it's my favourite, but we knew that. This is star power. They've been trying to keep him heel recently. This ain't a heel. They are pushing a button and flipping a switch right now. They are pulling a trigger on LA Knight. This definitely feels like a Triple H decision. Huge reaction from the crowd. Come on, Logan, make it work. Okay, so that wasn't great from Logan Paul. It opens a door for LA Knight though. He's doing LA Knight favours right now, intentionally. Bismo. Oh, can't read that and you know it. Sean says, why did they attack Shotzi and cut her hair? Who do you think wins Women's Money in the Bank? And says Liv wasn't the favourite last year. The one exception, yes. I think Io Sky wins. And as regards Shotzi, because they were scripted to. Eric says, who was supposed to be the favourite in last year since he said Liv was a red herring last year? I did feel that Liv was a red herring, but I can't specifically remember all of the competitors. It was a while back. So Liv Morgan got the nod because of Cody's injury. It was a late decision. Callie likes a red prime. Dom says, I got Judgment Day going 1-3 tomorrow. Convict Dom winning, but I would love if Finn won. It would shake some things up. I don't believe Rhea Ripley is actually wrestling tomorrow. Fair enough, Dylan, fair enough. Venom says, how can you keep LA Knight heel with that reaction? Because he hasn't been getting that reaction in the US. He's been getting a good reaction, not that reaction. Santos Escobar now involved as well. This is much like the segment, I think it was also Grayson Waller, featuring Asuka, in which we saw Io Sky and plenty more get involved. Butch is just charging down to the ring. He's going to run and bite someone. He's just gone straight for Logan Paul. I'm enjoying this. That was a good call. Only 4 members of the Money in the Bank match involved so far, and I imagine most of them are just going to leave it be. Butch trying to communicate with Logan Paul and let him know what to do. Protecting his head, basically saying, Logan, give us a punch. That's where we go to commercial for the draw segment. That is a powerful draw segment. Joe says, does someone else come Money in the Bank? Need more information than that, Joe? That does not make sense. And Dom says, I thought Damien Priest in the Money in the Bank match. You did think that. That's true. Carly very much enjoying Butch being Butch. I like the character. I like the Butch character. He a wild card. Wild card baby, yeah. Joe says, what do you think is next to Logan Paul, Tom? Well, at the time, Grayson Waller was next to Logan Paul. Briefly, LA Knight was as well. Hogan says, I shouldn't like this Butch gimmick as much as I do, but it works for me. Hey, you're not in control of what you love, mate. You're not in control of it. Callie says maybe if he wins, they'll give him his proper name back. Once again, I like this gimmick. I like this character. I don't hate the name. I've gotten used to it, I've gotten used to it in much the same way I did with the name Gunter. Just got used to it. Eric says, I wonder why Priest is being left off of both Money in the Bank promo segments. To try and basically make you stop remembering that he's there. Leon says, I like the character, I just don't like the name. Oh. So we have ourselves a triple threat match. LA Knight, Santos Escobar and Butch. Isn't this what they promised us last week? Did someone just read the wrong notes? Logan Paul, by the way, not involved because his contract limits him to only a small number of matches, and they don't want to waste it right now. LA Knight looking good. I just feel like Triple H has pressed the reset button again. And just said, yeah, we'll do what I wanted to do all the time. I had a plan. You took it away from me. I'm going to do it anyway, like it or not, Vince. Kelly says, all the best ex-NXT guys. You're absolutely right. Logan Paul, definitely the cream of that crop. Robs, you're right, mate. Says, hey, Tom. Been shopping for 4th of July grilling. Grilling needs hot dogs, hamburgers, s'mores. We'll watch the show obviously later tonight. Has it been a good one so far? Yes, it has. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Okay. We need to check on Butch. He jumped way too high. LA Knight was not ready for it. There's nothing he could do there. That was incredibly risky. Butch ended up way too high. Anyway, it has definitely been a good show and I highly recommend it, Robs. Well worth the watch. Lots of wrestling, lots of things happening. Very Triple H. Alyssa wants my prediction for Cody versus Dominic. My prediction is Dominic due to Brock. Hogan says, as regards Butch, don't mind as a nickname, but I wish it was just a nickname instead of his ring name. Just going to lock that a bit higher. The crowd are enjoying themselves by not watching the wrestling match. Despite the fact that so far, it's a very good wrestling match. Very high tempo, but Logan Paul's there getting attention. Hogan says, not as nasty looking as a Tiger Driver, but that was rough. Yeah. Higher than we needed, really. Wade Barrett suggests that Ricochet is the best high flyer the WWE have ever had. It's hard to argue with that. Can you think of any competitors to that particular throne? If not Ricochet is the best high flyer in WWE history, then who? Dylan says, Tom, do you think Triple H is doing better than Vince because some of his decisions haven't been good? Everyone makes good decisions, everyone makes bad decisions. We don't know for certain what has been Triple H's decisions and what hasn't. We don't know for certain. And we can't really pretend. LA Knight stepping up to Logan Paul outside. I would genuinely enjoy that as a SummerSlam match. Logan Paul bumping. Particularly being thrown into a chair there. Took the bump right. Megan says, Butch doing the work of the gods is beating people up. So he should. There was a little tiny Superman punch from Butch there. Hits the bitter end. No sign of LA Knight. Butch has picked up the win. Not often he wins matches, I tell you that. No chance of winning. I think I put him 5th in my list of 7. I could legitimately see a possibility where Butch does win and cashes in on Gunter, given their history, to become Intercontinental Champion. That said, while I can see it, I don't think it's likely. I really don't. Butch set himself up to try and reach the briefcase. LA Knight threw him off. Bit heelish. Logan Paul into the post. Didn't do a great job, but that's LA Knight's fault. Logan Paul encounters Butch. Good drop. That's a good drop. And Butch is climbing once again. I think, after all that, we're exactly where we were going to be in the first place. Butch holding the briefcase. Dylan believes that Rey Mysterio is better than Ricochet and the best high flyer that the WWE has ever had. Kelly says, I think LA Knight will win. Eric says, as someone who missed all of the Lone Wolf Corbin, that was the best I ever saw Corbin. Eric literally will not stop talking about Corbin. Airwolf says, do you ever watch SCW Wrestling? Yes, and I've been on Steve's channel a few times as well. Kieran says, Butch just cursed himself. Alyssa says, Brock Lesnar not showing up to the pay-per-view. Why would just end the feud? They're not going to just end the feud. They are having a match at SummerSlam. I reported this months ago. AJ Styles has accepted the challenge. So Karrion Kross versus AJ Styles is going to be a thing that happens. Shame. Charlotte Flair is on her way down to the ring. I feel this is really early for this. I thought this would be our main event. This is a really high tempo show. They are fitting a lot in. And a lot of it's pre-announced, which is rare. I'm interested in the reaction Charlotte gets. She's a face at the moment, but I don't know if she's going to be a face to UK crowds. We ain't particular about it. That said, we rarely boo, we mostly woo. Dom has given that triple threat match a 5. I really like the tempo of it. I really like the pace. I would give it a 6 myself because there was a lot of distractions happening on the outside, particularly from Logan Paul, and it was a bit of a mess at the end. Also, the botch, which could have caused some harm to Butch. Just a miscommunication between the two. LA Knight was not expecting Butch to jump that high. So I would give that match a 6 myself. Peter says, even with a ladder, do you think Butch can reach the briefcase? Thankfully, yes. I think I'm actually taller than Butch, but not by much. Peter gives the match a 6 as well. Hogan said that, or they're letting them go an hour, which would also be awesome. We know that Roman's going to main event. We know that that segment will be about 20 minutes. I can genuinely imagine that this match is going to go 20 minutes. We're going to get 10 minutes between commercial breaks and backstage segments, and then move on from there. Yes, Eric, they sung. Kieran says, well, the Roman segment is probably going to be 15-20 minutes, which is absolutely correct. You always have to factor in the Roman of it all. Megan says, as regards SmackDown, it's only on till 9:45, so that might explain it. They can always extend the commercial breaks for American audiences. That makes sense. Megan gives it a 5.5, good tempo, decent bit from all of them. Daz is asking for my prediction between Seth and Finn. Personally, I still have Seth Rollins retaining, though I do think if Drew McIntyre returns, that would be the time. Alyssa thinks Cody's getting odd. Hogan says Roman's entrance 10 minutes, Bloodline segment 15 minutes, Charlotte Asuka 25 minutes. That's 50 minutes right there. To be fair, as Megan says, this is booked essentially to finish at a 9:45 our time. Now they'll extend the commercial breaks for the American audience, but we are actually getting less commercial breaks today. Guessing they just didn't sell as many. So in reality, there's only 35 minutes left. Bloodline will likely take about 15 minutes of that. This match probably about 15 as well. Peter says it would be funny if R-Truth came running in thinking it was a Rumble match. Venom says, what are the plans for Tommaso Ciampa? Still working it out. They don't know. Eric wants to have Dominic beat Gunter or Theory. I don't see that happening, though he would be a very good United States champion. I think he'd be even better as a World Heavyweight champion. Callie says, who do you think will win this match? Asuka. I think Asuka will win, but I think there'll be some Bianca Belair to it. And I think we're going to end up with a triple threat between Bianca Belair, Charlotte and Asuka. Now, I did think that was going to be a match for Money in the Bank, but we've added the Women's Tag Team Championship match instead. So logically, I think that triple threat will take place at SummerSlam. Asuka versus Charlotte versus Bianca Belair. Essentially, the rivalry between Charlotte and Bianca will mean that Asuka escapes with the championship. And we move into, in the later part of the year, Charlotte versus Bianca one-on-one. Logically, this also means that if Io Sky is going to take on Asuka, it could well be a WrestleMania match if it's not briefcase related. Kieran says it has to be Asuka. They can't keep letting Charlotte return and just win the belt. Hogan says if you were ranking your Money in the Bank card predictions from most to least confident, how would you rank them? Assuming Gunter number 1, then... okay. Gunter number 1, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler number 2, Roman and Solo number 3, Seth number 4, Damian Priest number 5, Io Sky number 6. I think that's all of the matches. I think so. Alyssa says, is Cody Rhodes losing momentum? Yes. How would everyone else rank their predictions? Callie said, I thought it was going to be Money in the Bank match. No. Not this one. Callie says, good to see you, Tom, mate. Welcome, Khalid. How you doing, sir? Callie says, probably going to build a big feud with Bianca and Charlotte. They are. That's the plan. Eric says, do you think we get a surprise entrance for Money in the Bank? Maybe Bianca or Rousey. Bianca Belair is not booked for Money in the Bank at this point in time. Ronda Rousey will be coming down with Shayna, so that is unlikely. What I will say is that we'll be rating the gear of the women, I promise you that. Bianca Belair is at ringside. She's bought herself a ticket. Clever. Kieran says, I never thought of a Damian Priest win. Imagine Finn wins the belt and Damian cashes in. I was thinking that, yes. Very good, thank you, Khalid. Welcome to the show. Wiggly was supposed to be at a party, but doesn't want to go because he hates his friends. Asuka just be better. Asuka having a good laugh in Bianca's face. Bianca still showing off her ticket. Hogan says, I do like how unpredictable this card feels. Really only feel confident about Gunter and Ronda Shayna. Somewhat confident in Steph, then the rest are toss-ups. And Dylan says, who actually likes Charlotte Flair? She's the most overrated woman in the WWE. Charlotte Flair is unquestionably the best women's wrestler the WWE has ever seen. And I absolutely stand by that. And Joe says, I'm going to go with a 6.5. Charlotte with a decent grip into a German there. I'm going to get another drink. I got myself a set of 4. I know how it goes. Plus, I'm recording Nick and Tom's tomorrow after all. Kieran says, definitely not overrated. She's the best we've ever seen. Oh, Cody versus Dom. Thank you, Hogan. I'd put that one 4th in my list. Dominic winning. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, Dylan. You asked for our opinion. We disagree with you. Khalid is excited for the Bloodline face-to-face. Daz gives the match a 6. Let's go Asuka from the crowd. As I said, UK crowds historically not fans of Charlotte Flair, but they don't boo her, they woo her. Which is a phrase. Joe with his opinions of what will happen in the main event. Heading into commercial break now. You don't get a lot of rest holds in commercial breaks on the tour shows because they know it's been recorded, they know the actual ad breaks will be added in anyway. We've got quite short ones also. Spoiler warning will be taking place at its usual time, Khalid. At the end of this show, I'll basically do a raid and move all of you across to the spoiler warning setup. And then once 10 o'clock here hits, as usual, spoiler warning will go live. I do want to warn you, I haven't had too much time to work on my notes and do my research and have the conversations yet. So hopefully this does finish with 15 minutes to go and I'm able to try and work out what news to present. Because at the moment I don't have much. Eric says, do you think Cody Brock 3 gets a stipulation? Yeah. And Leon says, it feels like this is leading to a triple threat at maybe SummerSlam, which would be a great match. I did say that at the beginning of the match as well. Spider-Boss says, without naming Becky, what is the best rivalry of Charlotte Flair in WWE since her debut on the main roster? Becky. I don't subscribe to your rules and limitations. I always love things like that, where it's like, okay, now without mentioning The Rock, who did Steve Austin wrestle most at WrestleMania? You can't mention The Rock. You can't mention The Rock. You're not allowed to mention The Rock. You're not allowed to mention The Rock. So without answering the question, answer the question. Yeah, I don't subscribe to your limitations. Clever. Kieran says Dwayne Johnson. Well played. Well played. But you guys get what I mean. You see this all the time, where you get questions and they're leading you to an answer. Like they're leading you to a specific answer. Charlotte went for the double moonsault. It's been a while since we've seen that one. Asuka going for the armbar. Again, we're wrestling at high tempo here. No, you missed. You missed. Charlotte, don't sell that. With the spear, she can pretend she dummied it. That kick did not hit. I am starting to hear Charlotte every now and then in the ring. She went into that pinning combination. I don't know what she said, but she said something. She said it loud. She's got a bit of the John Cena about her, who always had a bit of the Triple H about him. What did we just hear? Did I hear them moving the steps? Charlotte's got quite some distance to cover here. Did not manage it. She did not manage it. Charlotte misses Asuka with the moonsault there. Asuka doesn't really sell it, and rightly so. Oh, they found Bianca Belair. She's waving her ticket at them. Careful with it, you'll lose it. There is a very worried looking child just right next to Bianca Belair. Dom says the missed kick was noticeable. Yes, it was. Ugh. I'd like to know who the guys with the special lanyards are in the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens t-shirts. Bianca Belair at this point, I'd imagine, is about to get involved. Joe has Logan Paul to win Money in the Bank. Dad says about Savage, who is Miss Elizabeth with first? Just ask the limited questions. Anything to avoid answering it. Bianca Belair has attacked Asuka. The match gets thrown out. We're going triple threat. Sometimes when I say things, people should really spread the word. Bianca wants to put Asuka through a table. Charlotte Flair is not happy with how this has gone. Flair versus Belair is where we're headed. Spider-Boss says Bianca Belair as a heel is best for business. I would say that's incoming. She's just going to lose it. She's just going to lose it. Spider-Boss also says Logan Paul and Io Sky. Here's picks for Money in the Bank. The crowd want tables. Someone is going for a table. There's 3 of them it could be, but one of them is going for a table. No, Alyssa, I don't think Cody Rhodes needs a heel turn. Jaden says, Tom, how would you rate 4 Horsewomen from least to best? I wouldn't. And honestly, given the championships that they've won and the matches that they've had, I'd probably put Sasha at the bottom. She's just been very unavailable at times. Callie says, do you think they've done this so Charlotte didn't get pinned? No. I think this was always a plan. I think this match happened to get to a triple threat. I don't think Charlotte was ever going to win. Eric says, do you want Charlotte to break her dad's record? Not necessarily, but she will. KOD onto the table. That's not going to put anyone through a table. There's no point of impact. You have to do a point of impact to put someone through a table. Charlotte knows this. That's why she does power bombs. One more time. It's not going to help. I've been saying for 5 years that the one to break Ric Flair's record is going to be Charlotte. Another KOD onto the table. Charlotte essentially doing a handstand. Once again, table does not break. You have to have a point of impact. Ultimately, neither of them decided to go butt first. And I think that's the only actual point of impact you could have. Joe's got Jimmy and Jay to beat Roman and Solo, and Cody to beat Dom. We disagree on that one. Spider-Boss says, I think with short title reigns, Charlotte will break Ric Flair's record. Yep. I agree. As I say, been saying it for more than 5 years. We're getting another Bloodline recap. It's up next, which means it will be getting that 20 minutes. And as we head into our final segment, I haven't done this for 50 minutes, so I'm going to say it one more time. We currently have 29 people watching and 24 likes. If you're able to, please do remember to hit that like button. It really does make a big difference to the growth of the channel. We have gained 2 subscribers during the show today. We're at 2,479. One more gets us to 2,480. Can you be the one? Hogan says, damn, Roman is getting the extra long entrance today. Does he not deserve it? Is he not your tribal chief? Over under 20 minutes? Under. Smackdown finishes in 23 minutes. Thank you once again, Megan, for that. So they need to get through this last segment. The thing is, any American viewer who's watched this on a legal stream are going to have found the show so entertaining and so high tempo, because it has been. I can honestly say this SmackDown has been fantastic. The problem is, that ain't enough. Because once you go to the American broadcast, it won't be as good because you've got so many pauses. It just won't be as good. I don't know. I've really enjoyed this one, and I think the reasons I'm enjoying it aren't going to be the reasons that everyone else has. Joe's prediction for Money in the Bank is Vince to win the briefcase. Fair enough, Joe. You are insane, but fair enough. Spider-Boss says Paul Heyman's face tells the whole story during this whole Bloodline story. They're showing highlights of London. It's been a while since I've been. I have a friend down in London I like to spend some time with. I need to go back at some point to say hi. I just fly down to Brighton. We met in Brighton. It's nice. They are running through the card for Money in the Bank. Typically, they do this. There'll be some sort of backstage segment. We'll start to see the entrance for Roman Reigns. Then we'll go to another commercial break. They are really pushing Logan Paul in this match. We haven't seen Nakamura. We haven't seen Priest. We haven't seen Ricochet tonight. There's a reason for that. They're all on Raw. Spider-Boss says more pay-per-views for the UK and Puerto Rico. The best crowds for pay-per-views. More on that during spoiler warning. Because the focus of tonight's spoiler warning will largely be the continentalization plan, in which the WWE is seeking to grow its audience by becoming the global leader in wrestling, essentially preventing AEW, New Japan or anyone from actually competing outside of the US. Airwolf says you'll still get wrestling content creators bashing anything they do. Yeah, you see, I can't blame them for that, because the reason you get wrestling content creators who hate everything is because they built an audience who hate everything. Everything. So, yeah. Hogan says it feels like commercials haven't been as long, but maybe it's the commercial interludes and flashing image warnings. It's absolutely right. We have not had long commercial breaks. Instead, we've had very truncated commercial breaks. When this goes to America, there's going to be an extra 15 minutes worth of pure commercial breaks. Here cometh the Roman. Jack says, with Flair, Asuka match a draw. No, Asuka won. Hogan would add Canada to the list. Dylan says, Tom, will you be watching Money in the Bank tomorrow? Yes, I will. We will be hosting a live watch party, which will start 1 hour before Money in the Bank does. We will be watching it in its duration, so please do be sure to check that out. Eric says, I'm confused, aren't SmackDown typically 2 hours? In America, it will be. In the UK, I don't think they've sold enough ad space, and they need to make room in their schedule. So they've just cut it down. It's only going to be a 1 hour and 45 minute show. So what they've done is they've cut 15 minutes of ad breaks. I have no complaints. Megan says they're all probably in Newcastle. Fair. The longer entrance Spider Boss has always been The Undertaker. Moxie says Dom versus Cody is main eventing tomorrow. I thought I heard Michael Cole say that. If that's going to happen, you know what's going to happen, right? We're going to see Brock. And if we're going to see Brock, maybe we'll see Drew. Maybe we actually won't see Brock at all and we'll get Drew versus Cody. Maybe that's the plan. Megan says, I think this is intentional to compensate for the US ad breaks. If it was a 2 hour show here, it would be closer to 2.5 over there with the ads, which I feel is accurate. As I say, they'll replace the ad breaks. It leaves it some space. And honestly, it's been a great show. Also, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. I get to go to bed at a normal time. It's going to be amazing, guys. It's going to be amazing. You don't even know. You don't even know. I can't do 3 a.m. sleeps all the time. It's so refreshing. Daniela says, Cody versus Dom being main event makes no sense to me. Makes very little sense. That's absolutely true. There must be something that's going to happen in that match. Brock is the obvious choice. Drew is a dark horse. Dom says, Cody and Dom is main event. Convict Dom definitely going to win with the help of Brock. Yep. Rob says, what time is spoiler warning today? Spoiler warning is usual time. It'll be 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern time over in the US. Callie says, another new t-shirt, the Bloodline will never die. And what is dead will never die. Elle says, that's a great thing for Dom to be main eventing. It's huge for him. It's also, to be fair, good for Cody. Very good for Cody. We're having a rebrand of Roman. He went through the head of the table phase, then he went through the tribal chief phase, now he's going through the only one phase. There is no you, there is only him. Dylan says, for everyone here, what is your favourite match this year? Mine is Roman versus Cody and Roman versus Sami. Dylan, gotta massively question what you've just done there. You said, what is your number one favourite match? Here's both of mine. Try again, mate. Eric says, I'm glad WWE isn't spoiling on the social media. Officially, this isn't happening. Officially this isn't happening. But I promise you other people are spoiling on social media. There's a reason I'm not touching Twitter right now. You guys know, if you come in here, I'm watching SmackDown. You know what you're in for. Kelly says, I like it in the UK, much more sociable hours. I can't stay up till silly o'clock. I'm getting old. Me too. A week from now is my 35th birthday. For those who don't know, a week from now we will be hosting a birthday watch party. Sorry, not a birthday watch party. A birthday spoiler warning. A birthday spoiler warning. And I I have something to show you. I have something to show you that Sai has made me. I don't know how to describe it, but it's something that Sai has made me for the birthday stream. Now, for those that don't know my general humour, it is ridiculous. My general humour is ridiculous in every possible sense of the word. So the most ridiculous thing you can possibly do is the sort of thing I really enjoy. So what you're about to see is something wholeheartedly horrible, truly horrendous, one of the worst experiences you're ever going to encounter, and that's what you get here on the Tom Colley channel. That's what you get. So yes, next week's spoiler warning. Oh god, I've just spotted Randy Orton. Next week's spoiler warning will look like that. It'll look like that. Oof, happy birthday to me, right? Spider-Boss says, just as a personal note, I prefer heels like MJF and Christine Cage instead of Dominic. I do not personally, but I appreciate you letting me know that. Megan says, how about both Brock and Drew? Ooh. Two-man power trip. Spider-Boss says, do you see Brandy Rhodes appearing in WWE? Eventually, yes. Next week, Edge will appear on SmackDown on the Grayson Waller effect. That could be a hell of a debut match if we get Edge versus Grayson Waller. Edge, as I've already mentioned, will be coming back in time for SummerSlam. I was planning to mention that during spoiler warning. Also next week, AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross, if anyone wants to watch that. Megan says, I'm already 35. Yeah. Sorry, mate, but I'll be joining you shortly. Next week for the US Championship, Austin Theory versus Sheamus. Rich Holland doesn't get a championship match, but Sheamus do. Christoph, how you doing, mate? Says Tom, good to see you, as it always is. Do you think NXT might slowly go to a different direction, maybe back to the feel of the black and gold era? So, Christoph, I've been talking for a while about this. For NXT, we're looking at the incoming NXT 3.0. There is a rebrand coming because their TV deal is up. So they are trying to get a new TV deal. And with that, a number of big name stars are making appearances. A large part of that is a rebrand as to what they will be going forwards. So they're moving on from 2.0, they're moving on from black and gold. There is a rebrand coming when they get rid of certain superstars who become synonymous with the branding. 2.0 is Bron Breakker's show. So without Bron Breakker, we'll see a difference. Welcome, mate. It's good to see you. Dom's favourite match is Sheamus, Gunter and Drew. Fantastic match. Eric says Ospreay and Omega 1. Rob says nice work side. Dylan finds that quite funny apparently. Kelly says you have to spill now about Randy. I already did. I spilled in February. I gave you all the news which right now is starting to come out. 4 months ago I told you all the news which people are now breaking. Oh, I just wish people would pay attention every now and then. Hogan says, a spoiler warning coming right after. Are you ending this stream and starting a new one or just rolling right on through? Good question, Hogan. Thank you for asking it. My plan is, at the end of this stream, I will use the raid feature to move everyone here into the go live for spoiler warning, which is already up and active. Already up and active. So I'll be sending you all over there. We will then go live at our normal time of 10 p.m. So just stick around at the end of the show. I will send all of you across and you can just hang out there for the 15 minutes or so until we go live. Dylan says, is Randy there? Not that I can see. Is there a Viper under my desk? That would be Randy. We have quite a variety here, Callie, quite a variety. Danielle says, Waller effective Edge is a bit random, but big. And Rob says, Rich Holland did, however, get a new Mattel Elite shown today. That's quite cool looking. Always good there's definitely a push coming for the man. Spider-Boss says Bron Breakker is ready for the main roster. Also says Randy Orton giving Rio an RKO would be something fun to watch. That day will definitely come. That day will definitely come. Roman is reminding everyone that he loves the Usos. Rob says Tom is going to send us into the Colliverse on our way to spoilers. The Colliverse. A Smackdown? No. Dylan, if you want news on Randy Orton, you know where to go. Dad says my favourite match is Sting vs Triple H at Mania 31 and Rock v Hogan WrestleMania 18. It's fair. My favourite thing about stuff like this, ranking favourite matches, is that you always get a joint number one. Roman reacting with the crowd. Clever. Daniel, I wouldn't say they're making it up per se. They're giving him something compelling to do. Making sure the audience can get ready for him. I do think if they are going to go with a Grayson Waller versus Edge, I'd be very happy about that. So, to be clear, Roman Reigns is the Usos' daddy now. He their daddy. Spider-Boss says Roman's mic skills have improved a lot since he got roasted by Cena in 2017. Yes. The time away was good for Roman. He came back something even better. No question. The Usos now on their way down. 9 minutes left of SmackDown. We might sneak in a crafty commercial break here. Roman is already telling Solo to calm down. Solo has Butch energy every now and then. And Butch has Scrappy-Doo energy. So Solo's Scrappy-Doo. That's what that means. The Usos firmly on the face side, and you can tell because they're dancing with the crowd. When's the last time you saw the Usos dancing with the crowd? Insidious. Good work. Jimmy's going to start us off. The Scrappy-Doo comparisons one I've been making for a while, Callie, and it's still very fair. Daniela and Joe both excited for spoiler one. And Callie says, not the brother anymore, now he's the daddy. Yes, John Solo is eventually going to turn. Roman's not going to lose. He doesn't need to think about the consequences. Rob says, if anyone wasn't already aware, there's a very good Paul Heyman interview on Rick Rubin's podcast. It's a couple of hours long. Well, that has got my attention. Crowd getting an Uso chant going. Pause for applause moment. Someone was definitely wearing an AEW shoot on the walkway. Shirt. Because they're wearing a WWE shirt now. He's not going to lose, mate. Come on. Let's not be silly here. They're trying to say they'll take the tribal chief away from him. We'll see if that day ever comes. Big moment there, Jay saying he doesn't want it. I would have laughed if Jimmy did want to be tribal chief. Are they reaching out for Solo? Trying to undermine Roman? They are reaching out for Solo. Solo-chan. Roman laughing, but it ain't that funny. No, Joe. I think the next time we see The Rock will be in something unrelated to wrestling. Funny for a moment, but as soon as Solo looks back, Roman shuts the hell up. Not a laughing matter, mate. You're wearing a shirt that says the only one. You forget he's right there? Roman be shook. Spider-Boss says, funny thing is, my friends always bet against Roman on pay-per-views. That is silly. Jay stepping up for the face-to-face. Paul Heyman making some distance, which is the right call. Solo in the background. Background acting is a wonderful thing. Jimmy Uso should be getting some background going. Oh, they found the chant. They found the chant. That's it. That's the right one. They've definitely found the chant. And that's why you weren't seeing Jimmy. Jimmy got a super kick in on Roman. Solo is now cleaning house. Getting rid of both of them. If you'll forgive the pun. Solo separates Jimmy, leaving Jay alone in the ring with Roman. Little revenge being had. And we have security to break him up. Why would you do... That's why. A solid moment, a hero moment there for Jay. They have made it clear where the story is, because the story historically has been Roman and Jay, and they have separated them out. Oh, I thought Roman was going to go over the top then. We're going into all-out brawl territory. I'll take it. Dylan says, I'm going with the Usos to win, but I always go for Roman. It's Roman and Solos to lose. No chance I'd go for the Usos right now. Jay going over the top onto Solo and Roman. The catch was not fantastic, but I tell you what, I loved watching the cameraman go down. I don't know how intentional it was, but I was happy about it. And that is SmackDown. That was lovely. Really crisp, really high paced, good quality matches. Oof. Oh, I enjoyed that. That's a wrap on SmackDown, guys, which feels really weird to say at 18 minutes to 10 at night. I should be awake for the next 5 hours to watch SmackDown. I already watched SmackDown. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Now, as you guys know, stick around, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to customize so that you are redirected directly to what comes next. Which will, of course, be spoiler warning. Pardon me. Spoiler warning will go live in 17 minutes. I hope to see all of you there. At this point, as per usual, I'll keep anything else to discuss at spoiler warning, though I will be trying to avoid talking about SmackDown. A lot of people watch spoiler warning who do not watch the watch parties. They will not have the spoilers. So please do not spoil anything from SmackDown. Try your best. It's probably going to be a bit of a difficult stream in that regard. As I've said, I have not had much time to prepare things. It may be a shorter one, but please bring your questions that don't relate to what we've just seen, and I'll see you there. I've been Tom Collihew, you've been fantastic, and I'll see you all very soon.